here, man, in America, in this land, what I've learned, bro, is you will never outlive what you've done in the past. You
All right.
understand? I took his company from 0 to 100 due to the fact that I'm placing all these products in all these shows and we getting seen on movies. And our product is now cool. We got rappers talking about us in songs. We got cats driving around in their cars that everyone envies their car because they that guy in the neighborhood. They're like, oh, I thought he was a face. Oh, Dr. Dre, you doing business with that? What does he know about sound? He's a facelift guy. I'm like, no. I'm the guy who actually started walking around with headphones around his neck. Nobody used to walk around with headphones in his neck. Nobody.
All
The
right.
first the first time you saw Beats by Dre, I had the prototype. I had it and I bought it down and I gave it to a little guy by the name of DJ Khaled. And he had an artist by
Wow.
the name of Ace Hood.
We're here for the introduction of In and Out. It's a movement to change the world. It represents all things and all of us at all times. It's about freeing ourselves of any prison.
Welcome to In and Out Podcast, where I have dope conversations with extraordinary people who have been released from some form of prison. I am Eric Geralt, your host. And today, I'm talking to Sincere about his continuous journey of beating the longest odds and achieving great success. What's happening, my brother Sincere?
Man, I'm here, man. What's going on, man? I'm doing fair for a square. What's happening with you?
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. I appreciate you taking the time to have this dope conversation with me. I'm going to give you an opportunity to just introduce yourself. Tell us about some of the things you got going on, your business that you got going on right now, and whatever you want to tell us.
So my name is Sincere. I mean, I've been through, I deal with a lot of different industries as far as from entertainment to commodities to right now I'm in one of my shops. It's called Twisted. Me and my partner Jamal, we opened up a shop. It's over in Harlem. It's on 140th Street, as y'all can see. It's a beautiful little spot, beautiful little space. Look for that logo because you want to see it popping up. We have one here. We're looking to do another one. We're looking to do another one in Brooklyn. So that's soon. That's soon to come. And I'm basically, I enjoy life, man. And as far as the introduction of your podcast goes, you was talking about brothers who have been in and out of different situations. Yeah, I think, it's the right man talking about that because a couple of situations he's been involved in. I know a couple of situations I've been involved in. But you know what I'm saying? It's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it. You know what I mean?
No doubt, no doubt. So Sincere is a brother that I've actually known for a minute. And, here at In and Out, we don't just bring individuals on who have been through incredible situations, but we vet everybody that we have on. So we really just want to represent the realness in our society, give people a peek behind the curtains for what a lot of people, may not be able to always see. So this particular individual, Sincere, he's a real OG. He come from a time just like I come from where social media didn't even exist, but he's a marketing guru. He's an engineer in the marketing game. He has close relationships, or has had close relationships from everybody from Dr. Dre to Akon, P. Diddy, and everybody in between. And I really wanted to talk to Sincere so he could not only take us on the journey that he's on, the continuous journey, where he's been through, where he's at, and where he's going, but just also give us some of the marketing gems that he was doing. I met this brother way back in the days when he first started getting in hip hop, when he was first released, and he said,
"Man, you actually, not to cut you off, E, but you actually met me
right ahead, bro.
When I first decided to get into the game. I think I was just being released. I just came home from Clinton Correctional Facility.
No
and
doubt.
I was sitting in there because I had caught a bad decision. I should have made a right when I made a left, and I ran the situation. And I was just getting released, and I was telling you at that time that I met you through some family members of yours out there in Brooklyn. That I got to get into. I'm getting ready to get into this entertainment thing because this other thing ain't working out.
No
And
doubt.
that was the beginning of my journey right there. Actually, that was the beginning of my journey. Though prior to that, mind you, I was involved because I had record stores in Brooklyn. Remember, we had them record stores. I had one in Flatbush, and then I had one in East New York. It was called Turbocharge.
Right.
you know. So I was always dabbling, and that was like my first real introduction to entertainment and music and studios and really getting involved in that field with VP Records, man. Chris
Right,
Chin and all of them guys over there. You know
right,
what I mean?
right. And I remember that was in the 90s, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that was right around the time
Early
where
90s.
Biggie and P. Diddy and all them was blowing up. You said I'm gonna get into this hip hop game. And how'd you start? What did you start doing when you first got in from the ground level?
I started interning. I was an intern for what they used to call was what was the name of it? East West Records. It was before it became Electra Records. I was over there. We used to hang out over there all the time, and we used to build up marketing strategies for the artists they had coming out at the time. That's when Buster was just broke off from leaders of the new school and everything like that. And we had other little groups, the TLC type of groups were coming out, and we were just having fun. I was interning over there. I had the pleasure of meeting some of the good people at the label, and the the way that we went to market was just so different and creative. It They kept us on there, and we were just running around the country, man, promoting different artists, doing radio shows and getting the artists on different shows and
How
supporting
so?
them.
You
What do
said
you
that the
mean?
ways that you were doing things were so different. Can you
I
think
mean,
of an
this is you're
example of
talking about when Snipes were coming out. This is when you first started sticking posters and everything up on construction sites and up on places where you wasn't supposed to be sticking stickers because it was basically locked down by, I don't know who. I don't know. There was a group of people who didn't allow you to really do that. You couldn't really promote like that. You couldn't really stick stuff up on it was post no bills and all this and that. But they were doing it. You
right?
understand, for fashion, and they were doing it for movies and stuff like that. We just couldn't do it for hip hop. So we
Okay,
started doing it for hip hop. We started doing it for the R&B artists, and it started. That was something that used to go on in the streets when everybody was sleeping. That used to happen at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So you out there
right.
with your glue gun and your snipes, and you going to work.
So you was doing real live guerrilla marketing. You was one of the
Oh
engineers
yeah,
of
yeah,
guerrilla
yeah,
marketing
yeah,
in the
yeah,
streets of New
yeah.
York.
Hitting the highways. But you had to remember, E2, man, back in those days we had a lot more, there was a lot more going on. You had summits. You had different shows and different conferences that were going on that were really supported by labels, and they were really building artists. Artists used to they used to have budgets where they would get built, they would get groomed to become a celebrity and to become a star, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And I mean, I was privileged to get into that. And then you got to remember, I think it was September 11th that came around, and me having a family and everything like that. I was looking for somewhere where I can go and it wasn't no natural disasters. It was pretty cool. I could manipulate the system because my job it wasn't a stationary type of thing. I'd go and get contracts. I'd get hired. I was hired. I was hired on. So I wound up going to Arizona and really wanting to find out after such a long time of the bootlegging and the music business really started suffering. You got to remember in the 90s, man, that's when the mini discs came out and they were trying to figure out how to code CDs so you couldn't copy them because every corner you went on there was bootleggers,
right,
you know.
right. So
And
what happened in
and
Arizona?
I started, I'm down there, and at the time, you know, I'm still moving around in the industry, but down there it wasn't really a big music industry. But what they did have down there that associated with music was the amplification. They had a lot of stereo shops down there. That's where you had
Okay,
MTX Audio, you had Rockford Fosgate, you had this Fosgate, all kinds of different audio things because people was
right,
hooking up their cars and stuff. That was more the West Coast, so they were hooking up cars, and the way that they would be magnifying sound, something I loved. I love music. That's why I was involved in music in that space anyway. So now
right.
I'm down here with all these people who are taking the sound and magnifying it. I was like, wow, God, we on to something here. And I got involved with a company called MyTech. And because, it's a bunch of tech guys, they don't move the way that we move. I'm coming from Brooklyn, New York, dealing with artists and dealing with labels. And, at that time you got Math and Red, you got real hip hop, real things going on out in the world. So, we had a different kind of swag to us because we were in the belly of the beach. That's where we came from, the belly of the beach. So
right. What did MyTech own? What type? I mean, I know they was a speaker company,
MyTech
but
Corporation owned MTX Audio. They own Extent Audio. And if for people, I ain't gonna show my age, but for people who know, if you watch Soul Plane, the movie, when you see all that stuff that's in the plane, all the audio gear and everything, that was me. We was doing that. I was placing all that stuff in there. So I was placing different products in there. That's when I had the ability to really get product. Petey Pablo had a video that came out where he was sitting in a Bentley. I had lace. I think you was there, matter of fact, at the time.
Yeah,
he was down in Atlanta. And that's when Sierra and that's Sierra's first video, because we used to shoot 3 or 4 videos in a day. While we had the crew, you had to shoot as many videos as you could in a day, because it wasn't what it is, or what it turned out to be. So we down there shooting 4 or 5 videos. I'm lacing the cars with the audio gear. That's how I'm getting my looks.
Right.
Gil Green. It was a bunch of different directors, but it was a fun time to be in hip hop. So
how did you manage to parlay you were in the streets, you had different skill sets, you had been to prison. How did you get hired on the MyTech? How did that come about?
Oh, so at MyTech, I was down in when I went to Arizona, because I didn't really interview. I never really interviewed. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, because that could be a problem later on in life, if something does go a little south and people find out, like, what? They find out about your past, and then they really whoa, wait a minute. Like, he was involved. This happened? Why we didn't? Oh my God, what the? You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk about that in a little while.
All right.
We'll talk about that in a while, because the one thing I'll tell you, man, is, here, man, in America, in this land, what I've learned, bro, is you will never outlive what you've done in the past. You understand? They'll never forget that. And the first thing that you will be, in fact, I could be the best dude in the world right now, but if anything ever go down, and that's just say anything ever happen, and I get looked at for some reason, the first thing you're gonna hear about is my past.
And no doubt.
That's
they're gonna bring that up.
So yeah, with a quickness, that'll be the first thing you hear. I could have saved 20 people out of a burning building in a cat, but I got into a beef with the officer at trying to get back in the building.
Right.
Now
that's gonna wipe out all your good.
I'm a bad guy. That's how
we already know. We already know.
Yeah, and that's why I applaud you, man, for doing what you do, because it's a lot of people spend a lot of time behind the wall, man, doing different things, and waiting. Eminem once said, man, I've been waiting for this. What is it? No, it's 50 who said, I've been waiting for this moment for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? So you sit there, you wait your turn, you get out, you do what you got to do, and God willing, man, you be able to succeed, man, and actually leave a footprint, man, a positive footprint on the,
no doubt,
in the space he was in.
And that's why that's why I appreciate you once again, because one thing I know is that there's a lot of individuals out there, yourself one of them, that have amazing stories and amazing experiences, and you can share that, and you'll be able to impact a lot of people by them hearing about that journey. So continue to take us on that journey. After MyTech, where did you go?
Oh, it's funny how you asked me about how did I get that job. And I'll tell you about they didn't have an interview. So long story short, I did my thing over there at MyTech, right? I killed him. So the owner of the company, his name was Lloyd Ivy, right? Real cool old white dude, Arizona guy, cool dude, man. really, really, really in the moment. He was making audio stuff, so you know he had an ear for music. He liked music. He liked life. He liked excitement. God bless him. And he was always talking to me, always going to these shows. We would go to these shows like the Consumer Electronics Show. We would go to these car shows called like SEMA and stuff like that. SEMA is the car show for everybody, for the world. You bring all your products over to Vegas and you show all your stuff. You hook up cars and you show what your car products can do and how your car, all kinds of stuff. It was bananas. If you a car guy, you understand. I wasn't really a car guy. I'm a hustler, so I became a car guy because I'm marketing the products and everything. So I learned it, I mastered it, and I went out there and sold it and did what I had to do so that I can excel. So he was always telling everybody at the Consumer Electronics Show, because I took his company from 0 to 100 due to the fact that I'm placing all these products in all these shows and we're getting seen on movies. And our product is now cool. We got rappers talking about us in songs. We got cats driving around in their cars that everyone envies their car because they that guy in the neighborhood, but they got MTX speakers or they got extended speakers in it, or you know they got it was Thunderbolt and stuff like that. And everybody, it ain't like today. Like you ain't tearing your radio out your car today. Back in the days, you was tearing your radio out. You was putting 2 amps in the back. You had some subs. You had some woofers. And you was coming down the block. We knew you was on the block before you even got to the block. We had you 3 blocks away. You know what I'm saying?
Knew you was coming.
The party, yeah. You was moving. You was the party. You was the park in the party. Believe me. So, so he's telling these guys all of this and that. So I start thinking, you know, hey, these companies start calling me, and one of my guys, Tom Land, God bless him, man. Tom Land was the president of MyTech. He left the company and went back to a company that was called Monster. He was always telling me about this company, Monster. And I'm like, Monster. So I start paying a little bit of attention to Monster, and I'm really checking them out now because these guys are beasts. When I tell you, you know, you go to the Consumer Electronics Show, that's the biggest electronic show in the world. And these guys own a major platform at that show right next to Samsung. You're not getting bigger than Samsung in this game. LG down the hall. So I'm looking at how these guys are doing it, and I'm impressed. I'm like, wow, these guys are dope.
Right.
So I'm going through some situations, and I think that's when you know all of this. I was going through a divorce and all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, you know, I'm going through it. Government on my neck. My ex-wife was on my neck. Love her. She's a good person. A lot of things transpired, but I'm going through it. So I said, man, I want to get out of this MyTech thing. Really, I need to go and check out Monster, or I need to go and check something else out because I need to figure out how I'm gonna balance out all of what's going on in my life right now. So I go down. There's a show, and it's a Consumer Electronics Show, but it's not CES, and I think it's like for home theaters and stuff like that, because Monster made cables and all different kinds of attachments for audio and video stuff. So they had this show in Indianapolis, and my guy tells me, hey, listen, Sin, come down to Indianapolis. I got you a meeting with one of the head monster's son. And the head monster is No Lee. He's the guy who owns the company. I'm in. I'm like, okay, Indianapolis is not my favorite place to go and pop in, you know, in a day in advance. And when I get down there, I ain't realized this is a big show, so ain't no hotel rooms.
Wow.
So I go and I get a little room down at the Bates Hotel, and I'm up all night, man. I'm like, yo, I got to see this guy tomorrow because I ain't staying here too much longer. I gotta get out of here. And I'm you know, life is life, man. So I got to get back. I got other things to do. I got things to do at the track. So I'm like, listen, I'm gonna be down here for a little while. I want to see this guy and see how I'm in. You understand? Right. See what goes on. So I'm down there the whole next day. Mind you, I stayed at the Bates Hotel this night. Didn't get no sleep. The next day, I'm on a mission to meet Kevin Lee. So I'm going through all day, man. I ain't see this guy for the entire day. So I'm a little like worked. I'm like, Tom, what's happening?
Kevin Lee is the son.
Yeah, Kevin Lee is the son of No Lee.
No Lee's son. Okay. Right.
So I'm like, wow, man, you know, this is like, I got to get out of here. This hotel is crazy. And I'm not no, you know, I didn't stay at places and everything, but we in a weird little place. This little thing, I'm not used to going down to like, it's like being in the middle of Missouri, and you ain't really sure about all the people who's all around you and stuff like that. So the night comes around, 8 o'clock comes around. I'm looking at Tom. I'm like, yo, man, I'm not. Where's this guy at? So the show closes at 10 o'clock or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting with him now. So let's go find him and get with him now. It might not have been the best idea for me to run up on him in the alleyway at 10 o'clock after the show ended and be like, yo, what's going on, man? You avoiding me? I thought we had a meeting today or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So he's a little shook. He's like, hey, can we go? Can we go somewhere where there's some light? You want a burger? You're hungry? You ate? Let's go somewhere and get something to eat.
Right. He's extremely accommodating.
Exactly. So
this is a $1 billion company, right? To be clear. Monster's $1 billion company.
No,
$1 billion.
It's 500 when I got with them, they was doing a couple $100 million. I'm sure, a couple $100 million. Right. I mean, he's the biggest distributor of cables and stuff in the world. This is the guy who invented the HDMI cable and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And not just cables, he does power too. This is a whole different level of technology that this guy deals with. And he's the Asian guy. If you look up Noah Lee, you're gonna see he's the guy, he rides a Segway. So imagine when I'm first meeting this guy, I'm thinking I don't really know enough about the Segway or anything like that. So I'm thinking this guy is what's they call him, Xavier. I'm like, who the hell is this? Rolling through the whole thing, like he's on a Segway coming through. And I'm talking about years ago, my friend. So I'm not even used to even seeing that, really. It wasn't like Segways was in the park and everybody was riding around on a one-wheeler. This guy rolled in, son. I'm thinking that this dude is a superhero. I'm like, man, because I've seen him do speeches and stuff at CES and at different conferences and stuff. And he rolls in. I'm like, damn, this nigga's so gracious. He don't even have to touch the ground. This nigga just glides across the room. I was like, man. So I meet him. We go. He goes. We get some light. We had a little restaurant, a little dive bar, whatever. Eat a burger, whatever. I'm standing up at the table. He's asking me if I want to sit down. I said, nah, man. I've been waiting around for this meeting for all day. I want to stand up and I want to express to you, man. I don't think that y'all know really what you're doing with your brand. Your brand is dope, and we could really take this somewhere else if y'all really wanted to rock. So boom, I'm telling Kevin Lee this and everything, and he's sitting there like, okay, all right, hey, okay, it sounds great. Sounds great. So what's your name, Sinclair? Okay, Sinclair. Can I have your number? Let me have your number. Can we meet tomorrow? Can you come by the booth? Because hey, come by the booth. I say, okay, cool. I'll come by the booth. So I hightail it back to the Bates Hotel. You know what I'm saying? Got one more outfit. Dust that off. Throw it on. Boom. Come down there tomorrow. The next day. Them cats are busy, man. Like, it's a lot of. It's a different type of business. It's not an entertainment like what I was used to in labels and stuff like that. These guys are out here grinding. These guys are out here dealing with people who are out working, like not even contractors, but distributors of wire. So that means that you've got people from all walks of life, that all different places, from a contractor who is putting wire through a house because he's building it. And these rich people want perfect pictures all around, and they've got, like, at that time, I didn't know, I mean, I know a lot of people, and I'm blessed to actually have seen it later on in life, but I've never really seen people's houses that, like, people had automated houses. Like, everything is hooked up together. They got one remote control, and you can turn on the lights around your pool in the backyard, and your system that's in your clubhouse, and everything through this remote control, and everything is wired together. That's a hell of a feat. And we talking.
So these guys got all the wires for sound, right? 20, 25 years.
Oh, he's got, and not just the wires. He's got solutions too. You know what I mean? We all know we all know that what it is now. You might be able to ask Chat GPT or whatever for a solution now, but back then, man, you had 10 people in a room writing code.
Okay.
So that they can program it into this outlet so that you can operate everything.
Right.
And I was fascinated. By it. I wasn't, I mean, I'm in Brooklyn, and we running the streets and all this and that. But when you start opening your mind and getting exposed to different things, you really start changing. It's like in hip hop. People always ask, like, why rappers start off so hardcore and they talking about this and this and this and this. Life changes. They ain't gotta talk. They're not talking about guns and all of this drugs and all of this nonsense no more because they ain't living in that neighborhood no more. They didn't move.
Right. Was this like a transformative part of your of your life? Just meeting up with Noli and
no question.
Starting to see different things. Okay.
Game changer. I'm saying, but because I'm a hustler, the reason why I'm seeing different things is because it's an avenue that is not exploited, it's not oversaturated, and it's easy for me. They love what I'm dishing out. They love it. They love it. I'm in there just doing what I enjoy doing and being sincere. No pun intended.
Right.
And they loving it. They're like, wow, this is incredible. Like, this guy's taking us to new heights. And then the energy, you bring an energy. These cats is wearing khaki shorts with New Balances and t-shirts. I got on matching flavors and hats, and I'm moving around and I'm talking. Every once in a while I might say a rhyme. I might bootleg somebody's rhyme. And they're like, oh my God, he's incredible.
Right.
Who is this guy?
Right. So you the of Monster. So when they hired you, was you automatically running the whole marketing division for Monster, or did you start out there, or what happened?
No. It was so I'm gonna tell you a story, dog. True story. I wasn't. I came in there, man, and was moving around for a while and doing all kinds of stuff. And Kevin Lee, the guy who really brought me in there, actually his pops was like, I'll find something for him to do or whatever. Kevin Lee, took Kevin Lee, who wound up becoming the best man at my wedding.
Wow.
It took Kevin Lee 2 years in the company to understand what it is I did. Word is bond. It took him he could not figure out, if somebody asked him what I did, he couldn't really explain it because they were so removed from how you have to have these relationships and how you hustle. And that's how you gather notoriety, success, and climb the ladder. They didn't really understand that. They didn't understand how that went on. You know what I'm saying? They didn't understand what I did and everything. And it wasn't until we really started getting into this thing called surround sound. They were doing this surround sound because CDs were getting bootlegged and everything. Noah had actually created, and I remember the guy came up with a solution for the problem because you can't duplicate surround sound. So he created a process whereas he would record different songs in so many different layers that if you tried to record it, you couldn't pick up all of the layers because it was playing through five. You had to have a surround sound system to play the music.
Wow.
So it would be surround. So if you copied it, you would not be able to duplicate that effect of surround sound.
So Monster and Noli was some of the Monster and Noli was some of the pioneers with surround sound.
Oh yeah, definitely, totally, wow. Totally,
okay,
totally.
I didn't know that.
No, I mean, listen, man. So anyway, let me tell you because I don't want to jump the gun. Right. So I'm dealing with them, and they really started appreciating me when we started getting into the surround sound. Right. So we had Luda, we had a bunch of different people come by and we did some surround sound. I'm actually on I'm on an album for George Benson and a couple of different albums that we did under Monster Music. There was a chapter that we had actually forged within the company that was called Monster Music. You can go and check that out when you got time. It's not there no more, but I mean, that was something that we were doing, and we did quite a few albums in surround sound. Okay. And he brought, and that actually brought my horizons with music and everything, because we did music that I would have never really listened to, and it was dope because to actually see how it stacks up in the different tones and different sounds and different genres was amazing.
What did Monster have to do with beats?
They created beats. They created Beats by Dre. So when we went, so man, listen, I'm coming out of hip hop. I know, so in the time of us doing surround sound and everything like that, Kevin Lee meets, we start meeting all these executives and everything. We meet all of the, I'm already working in the label, so I'm telling Kevin, listen, you need to be meeting this guy. You need to meet this guy. And at one point in time, I actually had Kevin Lee, where I'm taking him, we're going places, and we're trying to position him as that guy so that we can cut some deals and get some things done. He meets up with Steve Berman, and I'm already like, Jimmy, I already know these cats because I'm coming out of, I came in, I had worked at Warner, so I already knew what the deal, I already knew these cats. So he tells me, oh, we're thinking about doing this headphone or whatever with them, because I don't know whose idea it was, because Jimmy has one version, Noah has another version, but I know Noah was the sound. Noah was the sound. He was the ears behind Beats by Dre. And they were already in the world of, you might not know them. You might have, like, a lot of people might know Jimmy Iovine from the music, because of Dre and all of that stuff. But Noah was Jimmy Iovine in consumer electronics. If you were in that space, if you were in the tech space, like he was moving with Steve Jobs and shit like that. So he was that guy.
He was that dude. All right.
Oh no, it was no hands down, no question about it. And that was my man. I was privileged. I was honored, B. Honestly, man, I'm moving around the world with this guy.
Right.
And I'm learning, and it's just amazing to me, man. I never thought I'd be doing half of the stuff that I was doing. I'm getting on a flight. I'm going in the office one day and flying to Beijing the next day because I gotta go to the Olympics to deal with some nonsense with Beats. I'm like, wow, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? So Kevin comes and tells me one day, he says, hey, we're thinking about doing a deal with these guys from Universal. They're thinking about doing a headphone and this and that, and we're gonna name it Beats by Dre. I'm like, by Dre, Beats by Dre. And mind you, this is when he had Aftermath and shit like that. This is like, I know who Dre is. I'm like, Kevin and them don't have no idea. Nolan and them don't even want to do the investment. They don't want to go too far into it because they're like, Dre, who is this guy, Dre? What are we gonna do with this guy? I'm like, dude, I told Kevin Lee, if I call him right now and ask him, I'll tell you on that day, I told him, I said, yo, if you're doing that deal, man, your life is never gonna be the same. Never.
Wow.
I'm saying with Dr. Dre,
right.
He's like, oh yeah. I've sat in meetings, man. I went to Circuit City. I've been to Circuit City, and I went to Virgin Records and all of these spots with talking about beats. And I'm sitting there talking to some of these old ass executives who sitting there asking me, oh yeah. We know Dr. Dre. He's over in Beverly Hills. He makes those doesn't he do those hearing aids and stuff? Like, nah, that's a different Dr. Dre. They're like, oh, I thought he was a face. Dr. Dre, you doing business with that? What does he know about sound? He's a facelift guy. I'm like, no. I mean, this is from Best Buy closed the door on us, $300 for a headphone. Next,
beat it.
We're battling. We got Skull Candy. We got all these other dudes. Yo, built a category that at the time, if you remember when Beats came out, man, you were getting influxed with headphones. There was so many people trying to bite and trying to do what we was doing. It was bananas. I remember I used to walk around and listen, man, I got I'm the guy who actually started walking around with headphones around his neck. Nobody used to walk around with headphones in his neck. Nobody. The first time you saw Beats by Dre, I had the prototype. I had it and I bought it down and I gave it to a little guy by the name of DJ Khaled. And he had an artist by the name of Ace Hood, right? And we were shooting videos. We was all in Opelika.
Opelika, Alabama? Yeah. Florida.
We down in Florida, Miami, in Miami, Khaled and all of that. So he was shooting Ace Hood. And I forget what the name of the song is, but you can reference it. That's the first time you ever saw Beats by Dre in a video. It was Ace Hood. It was Khaled. I think Rick Ross was in it. Gil Green was shooting it. And what's his name? Baby was in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, man, it was that's the first time you ever seen Beats by Dre. Long story short, man. So we started doing beats. World starts changing. At first, it was mad problems with beats, and everybody was, had a problem with the plastic. See, manufacturing is a trip. So I've learned about manufacturing. I learned about sourcing. So you can source different. You have to source different products so that you can have them all meet up in one place so that they can be assembled and things of that nature. You're looking at the best prices. I've learned all about what your IPID is supposed to be, and IPID means how much you're making for every dollar that you spent, what's coming back in.
What is that word again? Can you say that word again?
IPIDA.
What is IPIDA? What does that mean?
It means, let me see what Google says it means.
I just had never heard the word.
And the website says it comes from a Greek word meaning to put on or to add.
Okay.
In its oldest sense, IPIDA is a simple description word, and then it goes on and on. But it is what it is how much are you adding on? Like, what is your IPIDA on products? That means like how much are you adding on? Does $1 bring you back? If you spend a quarter, are you making back $1.25?
Okay.
So forth,
Okay.
all that type of thing.
All right.
So that works into when you're doing a profit and loss sheet and things of that nature.
Okay. So you were responsible for bringing beats to Dre, to Interscope. And
no.
Not responsible. You had a lot to do with the promotion of it, would you say?
I actually, yeah. Well, I am the promotions of it at the beginning. Before we really became a full-fledged company, man, all the internal marketing and everything that you seen when the Beats was launched in 2007 or whatever it was done by us, my team at Monster. You know what I'm saying? It was Monster. They ran it. Now later on, as it caught on and it started being remotely profitable, and people started envisioning and seeing that this could work, that's when they lit fire underneath it. That's when Jimmy and them really got in tune with it. Jimmy and them. I mean, respectfully, Jimmy and them got on. They just won. Jimmy just kind of like as far as as far as with beats, man. That's why you see, if you follow up on beats and you know the culture and you know what's going on from before, that's how Jimmy got beats away from Noah. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was Noah who created it. It was Noah who was doing his numbers and everything. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy was just a lot swifter with the business. You know what I mean? Jimmy a record guy. He's a different dude.
No doubt. So Sin, if I was to take us all the way back to like when we first met, you was talking about when you had just came home. Do you remember the day that you came home, and what was your mindset? Because like everything you did, you started grinding from just coming home from prison. So, how does a person that, just coming home, making it, what type of decisions did you make in your mind? What was your mindset when you decided, I'm going to get in this, and then you got in it? You said, I'm going to get into music. I'm going to get in the music business, and you was messing with record labels. Then you started messing with My Tech. Then you was working for Beats. What were some of those skills? What was that mindset?
To be honest with you, man, it's you just got to get sick and tired of getting sick and tired, man. You gotta want to do something different, and you gotta believe. You gotta believe in yourself, man. You gotta will it. You gotta get up every day and you gotta will it. You gotta believe that you can actually do. I really started believing that the things that I did on the road, and that's not to say that I had stopped at all, but it was, I need to apply. If I apply 80% of what I do on the street, my hustle and everything, into something legal, basically that's what we're talking about.
Right.
I was like, I'll run circles around these people. Because before I came home, but mind you, when I came home, I told you I'm getting in the entertainment business because I had like 4.5 years to sit back and watch cats' videos and everything on Video Music Box and on the box and all that. I'm watching these cats, and I know some of these dudes from the town from running around prior. And I'm like,
you say 4.5 years. This is when you were locked up?
Yeah, I'm doing a bit. I'm upstate. I'm up north, and I'm looking at these dudes, man. Remember that's when Heavy D and people was out and things was popping. The music, the game, just it really was jumping off, and it was young black men getting into it who was coming from neighborhoods that we would frequent because it was nothing for Yonkers and Manhattan. We from Brooklyn. Brooklyn goes everywhere.
Right.
Brooklyn was everywhere, so we knew Harlem, wherever we wanted to be.
So was your mindset any different when you the last day when you came home? Then how was that different from the first day that you went to prison?
My mindset, man, it was that you got to remember, man. We talking about a totally different time, man. We talk about a totally different time.
Ain't no doubt.
My mindset was survival, man, because we were being hunted, man. We were getting stopped and frisked. We were being hunted. There was nothing really positive out there for us to do. Either you was playing ball or you was going to be a rapper or something. It wasn't a whole bunch. We didn't have a whole bunch of stuff to really look up to.
Right.
We really didn't at that time. It was crack all over the place. It was hard times. Even though your moms and your pops was doing the best they could do, it was hard times, man.
No doubt.
The struggle was real. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Mom Dukes might tell you, go outside. Oh, you go out. She tell you in the morning, go bring me back a pack of Newports in the newspaper. She ain't give you no paper. She ain't give you no money. So how you bringing moms, the woman you love and you want to take care of, how you going to bring that newspaper and that pack of Newports back?
Right.
So, the mindset was, the mindset is always focused on trying to get ahead. Now, how you decide that you're going to try to get ahead, that was the struggle.
Okay.
Because it wasn't afforded. A lot of positive means to get ahead was not afforded to us in our community.
Right.
So you had to pick and choose and decide. I just happened to be able to manipulate the system a little bit better because I did good only because I did good. I did good on the streets. So I did good in that business because I could walk in there and pay my way and actually look the part. So I would advance.
Right. That's what's up.
You understand?
That's what's up. Yeah, that's what I was looking for, brother. Listen, we got a few minutes left. I appreciate you sharing some of those stories with us, man, because you dropped some jewels, and ain't no doubt if somebody's watching that, they know where you came from and what you've been through, and your journey. Obviously, it's gonna serve as a tremendous form of inspiration. But I want to give you a few minutes to let people know where they can find you. Tell us a little more about Twisted and how that came about, and let people know where they can find you on social media.
Well, y'all can find me on social media at Twisted Harlem. That's on all the channels. Twisted Harlem. TWISTED Harlem. Here you go. I'm going to show you. This is what I'm dealing with right now. I'm dealing with. This is my view right now.
All right.
You caught me a little early, so I ain't have time to really get all my stuff out and do what I do. But this is the shop.
Okay.
So we had this one here. We're doing the same exact thing in Brooklyn. You understand? We do exotic clothes that, there's one-offs and things of that nature. A lot of the Dapper Dan type of, we don't do bags, we don't do handbags and stuff like that. What we actually do, we actually make the different furnitures, different stuff for your crib, bar stools, little tables, things of that nature, ornaments. But we're taking all of the scarves. They got this big thing now with this tennis or whatever they call it with those little paddles and stuff.
Dope. And what's your address? Where you located at in Harlem?
200 West, 140th Street.
All right, dope.
Outside.
So if people watching and subscribers coming to the store and they say in and out, you're gonna give them a little discount. Can we come up with some type of discount where if people come in and we give them a discount code coming to your store?
Yeah, they gotta mention in and out.
All right,
if they mention in and out, we giving them 25% off instantly.
All right, dope. That's what's up. All right, we can work something out. All the subscribers give a discount. You already know. Y'all can go to Twisted Harlem. He gave you the address. You know where to find him. We appreciate you coming on, man. It's Sincere, the one and only, the original OG. Some people call him King Kong, but he's doing his thing.
Nah. We ain't doing all that, bro. Don't tell them that.
All right, I
I'm proud
appreciate
of you,
that.
bro. You're doing your thing because you got a story to tell as well. I'm gonna have to tell you to come on Twisted Harlem's podcast. You know what I mean?
All right, no doubt. I'll do it
All
anytime.
right. So I'm gonna deal with y'all. Peace and
All
love,
right,
man.
that's what's
Thanks for
up.
the
All right,
opportunity,
y'all know
brother.
where to find us. In and Out, WWINNOUTWW on all platforms. Appreciate y'all for coming in. And peace. We're out.